This episode is sponsored by the good people of Pringles. That is a lie. We don't have a sponsor, nor do we... Actually, we do want one because we need money. This podcast.
We do need money.
And before we get into the beginning of this podcast, I just want to say that we are now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Stitcher, iHeartRadio.
All those podcasts.
Yeah, everywhere. It's everywhere.
So basically, you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that all of them should subscribe, leave a like and a comment, and it really supports this podcast if you support us.
Yes.
All right. Well, time to get into it. Marks, and Laps fans, welcome back Wrestling.
Thanks for coming back. We hope you guys are safe out there.
Yep, because the world is still burning, and we are still having the wheels turning.
Yeah.
Woo, that's a rhyme scheme. Bars.
Okay.
I'm Izzy McCoy, and that's
DJ Matrix.
And we're back here again to talk about a little bit of wrestling.
Yeah.
How was your week?
It was solid. Went out on a date for the first time in a long time. It was kind of weird sitting outside. But
did you also go to a hotel this week?
Yes, I did. And I had a good weekend.
You also heard somebody else having a good weekend.
Yeah. Boy.
Jesse earlier told me the cadence in which that person was, let's just say, doing what they do when you're an adult.
They're doing adult things.
It was just
loudly,
groundbreaking.
Loudly. It hurt my Christian ears.
Well, I can tell you who's not having a good week.
Well.
Yep.
They've been facing heavy backlash. What we're talking about is Austin Aries and Low Key. They are a part of a growing demographic of people that feel like these masks during COVID are completely unnecessary. I personally don't understand what's the big deal about wearing a mask, but, I get it. People don't want to be marked as sheep.
I've seen people say that basically they're breathing in their own air, and that's not good for you.
Okay.
And I can understand that aspect of it.
Right.
But it's like, bro, you just have to put the mask on when you're around other people.
That's it.
And here's another thing. I hate when people call other people sheeps. These people all have bosses.
Yeah.
They all have to listen to them.
Yep.
They all have to do their job. They sign contracts. They go to work and they do their job in and out. Mm-hmm. You know who doesn't have a boss?
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Right.
I don't have a boss. I work exclusively for myself. So from that perspective of me making my own money and doing what I want to do when I want to do it, I still wear a mask.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like it's being a sheep being safe. It's just, even if you don't believe that it exists, it's like me. I believe in God and all this other stuff, but my friend doesn't. He's an atheist. Mm-hmm. He does not believe in God, but he doesn't like to f*** around with demon talk. Right. Because he's like, what if I'm wrong?
Right.
This demon will come and me.
Yeah.
And what if you're wrong about how you feel about corona, and you get somebody, not only yourself sick, but you get people around you sick, and then a death in your family occurs? You would be entirely to blame for that. So I don't think it's being cheap. I think it's just being smart, being safe.
There are reports that Kevin Dunn, who is the lead production guy in WWE, he's the director, he's been around for a very, very long time.
I've seen him one time. He looks like he gets no butt.
So he's one of Vincent's right-hand men, and he instructed a lot of the performers that were in the crowd in the performance center to not wear masks. Well, pretty much all personnel not to wear masks, I guess, because he feels like it doesn't look good on TV. What looks good on TV? Alive people.
Yeah.
People that are alive.
Or actually having a live audience, which you can't have anyway.
No, you can't have that.
Kevin Dunn is a piece of shit, and I hate him. No, because that's dumb. You're instructing people not to wear something that could protect them. And what came out?
Right.
We found out that there was somebody in that audience that had COVID.
And after that, now it's like a full-blown outbreak. There's a bunch of personnel now in WWE. They haven't announced any wrestlers, but they announced like 2 agents and 2 reporters.
Caleb
Braxton and Renee Young. well as Jamie Noble and Adam Pearce, who are both producers in the back.
I'm not gonna lie, Jamie Noble looks like the type that doesn't want to wear a mask.
Because he's a Southern guy?
I'm sorry, them Southern people.
Okay. Alright, so I guess we can't sell to this demographic.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying all Southerners are racist. I'm just saying that most likely, if you are racist, you probably live in Kentucky. I don't know.
Have you been to Far Rockaway, Queens?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
They're also racist.
Right.
Racism, I guess, is everywhere.
Staten Island?
Racist.
Right. Okay.
You made your point.
Right.
Sorry, Southerners.
Forest Hills, Queens?
My father's from the South. Also racist.
Right.
That's not a good point.
I mean, the problem in WWE, it's from the head down. Apparently, Vince McMahon believes that COVID is just like a bad flu or whatever. Like I said like last week or 2 weeks ago. Older, white, affluent men just don't believe that COVID exists. Yeah, they don't believe it.
Yeah, 22 million people dead. Just put a scarf on.
Right. They just don't get it.
Yeah. But if you or a family member believes that they have COVID-19, the smart thing to do is to buy tickets to a WWE show because they have the cure, apparently. Apparently they have the cure.
I will not be going to
give a fly about what's going on.
I will not be going to any WWE shows anytime soon.
Me neither.
All right.
I will go to an AEW show because AEW seems to give a shit about me as a person.
Yeah, and they've tested all the personnel and they make sure everybody's negative. They even had the champion, Jon Moxley, call out of work because, of course his wife has COVID. He didn't want to infect anybody else, which is the most responsible thing to do. He didn't feel pressured to come to work, which is the best part of it.
Doesn't he have a championship match at Fyter Fest?
He does. I don't know if it's this week or next week.
So, is that match in jeopardy?
It might be in jeopardy because of the whole 14-day quarantine thing.
Who was he fighting? Oh, he was fighting Brian Cage.
Yes, Brian Cage.
Damn. Yeah. So that match may not happen.
No, they may not happen.
Thanks, Vince. Well, do you think it's a conspiracy? Maybe Vince was like, hey, let's get everybody infected with COVID because somehow this will get to Renee Young, and Renee Young will give it to Mr. Ambrose, and Mr. Ambrose will give it to all of AEW, and AEW will be defeated.
A bit of a stretch, even for Vince McMahon.
I don't know about that.
It's a bit of a stretch.
This is a man who screwed over Brett in Canada.
He did. All right.
So, we're going to be talking about our hot topics as we normally do. And we have a bunch of topics. I don't really know the order in which Jesse puts these topics in. So, I'm going to let Jesse go down the list.
All right. So, this week in NXT, we're talking about Escobar's new faction, the former El Hijo.
You are a horrible Spanish man.
Yeah. El Hijo del Fantasma.
For those that don't know, DJ Matrix is a posing black person.
Yeah.
He is part black, part Guatemalan.
Yeah, I'm half Bajan, half what? Whatever. We're going to talk about his new faction along with DJZ and
the other dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to talk about the fact that it's a monumental time for the New Day in WWE, as they've now achieved being the longest lasting faction in WWE history, which is amazing.
Yeah. And I think it's because Big E goes back there and they're like, Big E, this is the week. And he'd be like, no, fam.
Right.
I'm not gonna break. I'm not going heel. I'm not doing none of that.
So I'll also talk about Tessa Blanchard. She recently got released from Impact, the former not just women's or knockouts champion, the Impact World Champion, got stripped of her belt. And
which was also confusing because when we were doing our prep work, I had to ask Jesse over here, I'm like, is there 2 world champions over there? And then he'll get into it later.
Yes.
But I was brought up to speed with what I don't really watch Impact like that, so I'm here and there, and I saw like Tessa Blanchard got fired, but then I was like, isn't Moose the champion?
Right.
And he explained it to me. He'll explain it to you kids too.
Right. So we'll talk about where she could end up. If she can end up anywhere in the States, The
I heard there's a wrestling federation in hell, so I'm pretty sure she'll go there.
The main story this week is which card is actually better for the Wednesday Night Wars for the next 2 weeks? Is it, NXT's Great American Bash, or is it AEW's Fyter Fest?
Great American Bash used to be my favorite pay-per-view ever. Because remember I told you guys, I think it was episode 1, I really got into wrestling watching WCW, and I used to love watching the Great American Bash. And when they brought it back to SmackDown, I liked it. And when NXT brought it back, I kind of was excited, but then I realized this is just a marketing ploy to fight Fyter fans.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, so we're just going to throw American Bash under the bus.
You should have known better.
I should have, yes, I should have. I thought it was going to be special, but it's not. It's trash, and I hate it.
So, first up, we're talking about this week's hot topic, which is actually a continuation from last week. Hashtag speaking out.
Continuing on strong as it ought to.
Yes.
Keep your hands off those females unless they tell you.
Oh, keep your hands off of other people that don't want their hands or your hands on you.
Unless they tell you.
Right.
No grabbing of the.
Don't follow our president.
Yep. Some of y'all actually voted for him after you knew he said that.
Yeah, shout out to y'all.
Surprised.
Because just like Michael Jordan, racists also listen to podcasts, so that's fine. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hashtag speaking out. NXT UK, which actually was in talks of being in jeopardy of even continuing on as a brand.
Because so many of their people
were caught up.
Are apparent rapists.
Apparently. Recently, we had Joe Coffey being suspended. They also fired 2 referees, Joel Allen and Chris Roberts. This continues along the line of the firings that they had last week of Travis Banks, Legero, and Jack Gallagher.
Who cares? He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, and he has that stupid boat on his chest. I'm so happy he's fired.
It's going to be a major issue for time to come because there's a lot of talented guys that are going to have a hard time finding any work.
No, they won't.
You don't think they'll have a hard time finding work?
Work?
Yeah.
No, in Corona, Wendy's is hiring all the time because, they're essential. I order from them even more. I've seen so many lines out the windows. Like, the drive-thru is literally wrapped around the block. Okay. So I'm pretty sure Joe Coffey can serve some coffee for the breakfast menu at Wendy's.
They're going to have a hard time finding work in wrestling, is what I was getting at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. They're done. Yeah. Because also with the releases, this couldn't have come at a worse time. With the releases from WWE, you got so much talented people floating around who aren't rapists. Mm-hmm. So, they're probably going to get priority over those jobs first because they don't rape people.
That would help. And that'll be a strong recommendation for people to work for me. They don't rape. That'll be. Whew.
I'm sorry if you guys feel like I'm being very blunt, but it's getting. I just watched this thing on Netflix called Athlete A.
Oh, and it's not a thing. It's a documentary about molestation that everyone should watch.
Yeah, it's a powerful piece.
I'm sorry, not everyone, not kids. Kids should not watch this.
No. You shouldn't, because you don't have nightmares. But of a creepy doctor. I watched Athlete A. Jesse was telling me how he watched Athlete A. We both watched the Jeffrey Epstein thing. And it just gets to a point where you have to realize you can't be raping, bro. Like, it's not cool.
Enough is enough at this point.
It's sad that we have to say these things. Like, bro, it's not cool. It's not cool. You affect people's lives, especially when you find yourself in a position of power and you dangle that power in people's faces. And basically, this is other people's dreams that you're basically saying, if you don't do this thing, then you're not going to get your dream. It's a despicable thing. And that's basically what Athlete A, this doctor was making it out like this is the most normal shit in the world. And he's dealing with kids, and I think a lot of these wrestlers who are taking advantage of, sometimes it was some I've heard been other male wrestlers.
Oh yeah.
And mostly it's been female wrestlers where you're taking advantage of them because this is their dream, so you're preying on the hopes and dreams of another individual, and that's just not acceptable.
It's never cool to use your at least perceived power as an advantage to get favors or mess with people or whatever. That's not cool, man.
Yeah, so Joe Coffey, Travis Banks, Ligero, who I actually liked. I like Ligero. Ligero, that's how you say his name?
I guess so.
Oh, I don't give a f***.
He's fired, so.
Yeah, Jack Gallagher. I actually didn't like Jack Gallagher. I liked him better when he was Gentleman Jack. When he got this
original Gentleman Jack?
F***ing
the
boat on his chest, I didn't like it. Look at a pirate busted on his f***ing chest. I hate it so much. Oh my God, I don't like it. But you know what I do like?
Yeah.
Escobar.
Oh, my man.
Escobar.
Hijo del Fantasma.
What does that stand for? What's
the son of Fantasma.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Son is Hijo?
Hijo, yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
I only know Primo. That means cousin. Yay! That's actually boy cousin. Girl cousin is when you put an A on that.
Wow.
Genius.
Wow.
Yep.
You passed.
El Hijo.
You passed Spanish?
Fantasma.
You passed Spanish 1, huh?
Yeah. I didn't think it passed Spanish 2.
Right.
That's where it stopped for me. But his real name is Jorge Luis Alcantar
Boli.
Wow. That's okay.
Yeah. So he's going now in NXT as Santos Escobar. And he has a crew with him, including was a DJC and I'm forgetting another guy. We'll figure it out.
I think he was like somebody that was in NXT, right?
He's already been in NXT. He's a very, very good wrestler. He was mostly used as like a hand that got guys over, helped guys get.
Raul Mendoza.
Mendoza. Wow, you're really bad with the Spanish names.
I don't care.
Santos Escobar has basically been a long burn of a storyline where they had luchador masked men trying to kidnap Santos Escobar, basically. They first kidnapped Raul Mendoza, then they kidnapped Joaquin Wilde, and then they attempted to kidnap El Hijo del Fantasma at the NXT Cruiserweight Championship Finals, and they ended up distracting Drake Maverick, so El Hijo took over and he won. I always thought that was interesting because I thought that Drake Maverick's story was redemption and he'll win
the
title. And
but see, I liked the way they did it because it was like it didn't cheapen that storyline,
right?
But it also added
a layer,
this phantasmal storyline, this fantastico.
So yeah,
storyline.
They merged his redemption storyline into like a new character,
the LWO, because this is basically Latin.
Sure,
that's what I'm calling them.
Yeah,
I don't care what they call themselves.
I don't know what they call themselves. Well,
no, they have a name. They call themselves. Damn, I don't remember, but they do have it. Oh, I'm not saying that. Oh, yeah. I'm not saying that. You say that.
El Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah, that's what is that? The Legend of Fantasma. That's what it sounds. Is that what it is?
I believe so. If it's not, then
did I translate that properly?
You probably did.
Oh, f***ing genius.
Sure.
Well, yeah. I love DJZ. That's all I know.
Yes.
He's really good in the ring and he's a great wrestler. So I feel like I'm already enjoying this group. I like Fantasma, who is now Escobar. First of all, I like any Spanish man named Escobar. A leader of any faction named Escobar. It makes me think of Pablo.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So I liked it immediately. I don't know. You guys can call me racist. That's not racist. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I like my Spanish people called Escobar. That's how I like them.
Anyway, going from the WWE's newest stable to the longest lasting stable.
Oh, I see what you did there.
In all of WWE.
That's cool. See, my man Jess is getting better at transitions, people. It's f***ing fire. There's a lot of cursing in this one. Have fun with that, bro. I just realized. I'm gonna stop now. Because I just realized we gotta bleep those.
We have a celebration of the New Day being the longest lasting faction in WWE history.
If you haven't been told yet.
Yeah.
If you haven't known yet.
Right.
If you don't understand this yet. They're black. So I automatically like them from day one. Yeah. I love representation.
I remember when they first started this entire New Day, I guess, faction thing. It started off as like a Louis Farrakhan thing.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, like a Million Man March type situation, whatever.
You know they were supposed to be called the Million Man Ministry?
Yes. Oh, they were?
Yeah, I was listening to their podcast, and it was supposed to be called the Million Man Ministry.
I'm thankful that
if you can find a piece of that podcast, could you play it right after?
Sure.
And no, because Big E has the funniest. Because Xavier Woods hates it, right? He was like, "Oh, that's whack," and then Big E was like, "No, I actually found it wasn't that bad."
Right. And
he was like, he said, "We could have." He said, "Matter of fact, when I break up with y'all, when I leave y'all, and start my own group with Street Profits,
right?
I'm gonna be called the Million Man Ministry." And then Kofi was like, "Yo, but y'all don't have a million men." He said, "No. We have the passion, we have the spirit of a million men. Well, fans is deep. Our fans is so deep. It's like a million millions coming with us to the ring." Yo, I love Big E, son. Yeah. I love Big E. So basically, what you do is you just blend in my explanation. My explanation will start blending out, and then Big E and what he actually said will blend in. You see how that works?
Perfect.
Yeah, it's editing.
So they transitioned from being that into like this like pastor.
Because Vince is racist.
Gospel.
Because Vince is racist.
Yeah.
I would say it one more time. Because Vince is racist.
Yeah, they transitioned to like some like weird like gospel, black gospel.
They
thing.
asked him not to. They asked him in the podcast. They asked him. They say, "We don't want to be anything that's dancey.
Yeah.
We don't want to be anything that's like Black Power.
Right.
And we don't. We basically didn't want to be any stereotype.
Right.
Of any like kind of like extremist black thing.
Right.
And Vince was like, "I got you, fam. You'll be pastors."
Right.
And they were like, "Did you not listen to anything we just said?"
That's what they made Devon.
Yeah. It's not the only time. Anytime you're an outspoken black person, you become a pastor.
I think so, yeah.
Then they start taking over
themselves. No. They were supposed to originally be babyface. They went to Vince, was like, "Yo, the way we're doing this, we're gonna be heels." And then Vince was like, No, you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And it's like, of course, they became heels.
Because nobody likes that.
Right.
Nobody likes
the overly positive.
Yeah. P.O.P. Hold it down.
Yeah.
That's the power positivity.
And then what I loved is, by turning heel, all they did was turn up what they were doing already.
More positive.
Right. It was like, "Oh, we know you don't like it. Let's just do this even more to get over."
I feel like in that moment, Big E really started shining.
Yeah.
Because you got to see his personality.
Right.
Like Kofi, you got to see his personality when he had that feud with Randy Orton. Big E to that point was just
he was cool. He was cool when he was with Dolph, but you only saw like bits and pieces.
Yeah. He was. What do they call that? A heavy?
Yeah, he was a heavy for Dolph.
He was like a traditional
Dolph
heavy.
and AJ.
Remember when he hit AJ in the chest?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. He was mad amped. He said, Just blew her whole chest in. Just came to her
All right.
And Dolph's face was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah. I know that had to leave some type of like mark for real. Because he's a big man. We're going from the longest tenured faction in WWE to who many people believe is the best women's wrestler in the entire world. She is now currently the former Impact World Champion, Tessa Blanchard.
People think she's the best.
A lot of people feel like it's either her or Charlotte, Asuka.
I think it's Asuka.
I believe it's Asuka as well.
Asuka is amazing. They hold her back, let's be honest.
There's a reason why Paul Levesque, Triple H, had her as the champion for the better part of 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And she didn't even lose the championship. She's just like, I'm tired of defending.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Her mystique was beautiful, right. And they ruined her
immediately
when she went to the main roster.
When she had to tap out at WrestleMania, I was so heartbroken. I'm like, why? Yeah, you had a chance to make somebody brand new. Here, you have Charlotte, who's basically your top woman on the main roster. You could have had Asuka come through yo, I'm gonna win. Tessa Blanchard, now she's gotten released because she's been in Mexico with her boyfriend, presumably stuck. And Impact, they have a pay-per-view coming up shortly. Slammiversary, I believe?
Slammiversary, yes.
Yeah, Slammiversary.
Who I think EC3 supposedly is supposed to be.
Yeah, he might be there. They wanted her to shoot some promo material, at least on the phone or something, just so they have something to promote the match that's supposed to happen at Slammiversary. It's supposed to be a 5-way. It included Michael Elgin, who's actually no longer within company due to
rape,
speaking out,
being a rapist,
allegedly. And it was supposed to have Tessa Blanchard defending her championship. She's also not with the company, so now the championship is vacant. And I believe it's going to be a 3-way now at the next pay-per-view. That's Slammiversary.
For the championship?
Yeah, for the championship.
So she's not going to be a part. So she's automatically...
She's out. She's gone. She's gone from the company.
She's fired?
She's completely fired.
Oh, so it's like no coming back?
No, it's not coming.
Okay, cool. So she's stuck in Mexico.
She's stuck in Mexico, allegedly.
With no job.
Apparently.
Prostitution's big out there.
I suppose so. So we had to... The question now is, where's Tessa gonna go now? I mean, she can go to WWE, where she, I believe, should go straight to the main roster, skip NXT altogether.
Or Tijuana.
That too.
Because that's a bit tough.
They are there as well. As well as,
I'm sorry, I have no love for Tessa Blanchard.
As well as...
She apparently spit on somebody and called him a nigger.
So that lies in the problem, because a lot of people have tied her, at least loosely, to AEW simply because her father is there and it's actually a pretty prominent character there and probably has at least a little bit of influence.
But that puts Tony Khan in a weird position, because Tony Khan has been very stringent about allegations or somebody possibly being racist.
Mm-hmm. Although he hasn't actually fired anyone. He suspended 2 of his current employees. So he hasn't taken the extreme or the most extreme measures as like WWE or other companies, the NWA has. I mean, which is I believe is fair, because a lot of times, especially if someone doesn't display that type of, you're a new company and say Sammy has been a good soldier there, or Jimmy Havoc has been a real good soldier there, and it's something that happened before they were employed at AEW, and you've never seen any of those characteristics. I can see why you would want them to go to training rather than fully fire them and throw them out into the cold.
That makes sense. That does make sense. So I'm a jokey dude, but this is where my heart lies. I believe that Tessa Blanchard does deserve second chances, like anybody else deserves second chances. I've seen her wrestling matches. She's really good. I do think Asuka's better. I do think Tessa Blanchard is better than Charlotte Flair. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think my scenario is I've always wanted Tessa Blanchard to go to WWE so she could form a ladies' 4 horsemen with Charlotte Flair. Just because, your father was Tully.
Right.
Charlotte's father's obviously Ric Flair.
Oh, I thought it was Bad News Brown.
That was good. That would not explain Charlotte having no ass.
That is true.
Yeah, it's a flat bag.
It's a big loophole.
Yeah, Andrade obviously is aroused by what do you call those? Flat irons.
Oh, churros? He's a big fan of churros.
Yeah, but no, but seriously, I would love Tessa Blanchard and Charlotte Flair to get together and create a 4 horsemen. Because I feel like if you have Sasha and Bayley who have the belt, because the 4 horsemen was Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley.
And now that
Becky's pregnant,
she's out of the game for now.
You know what I'm saying? Which do you? Because I heard people get on her. That's stupid.
I mean, she looks great now. She's changed her hair color to like a brunettish, blondish deal, which looked good.
Yeah, let her go start her family. You know what I'm saying? Don't hate. She gave you her body for how many years? Let her go have her child. And in the meantime, Tessa could come in and they could form this 4 horseman group. You think she should go to the main roster? I think she should come in and beat Io Shirai for the NXT championship with help from Charlotte Flair, right? Solidifying them as a working together unit.
The NXT.
Yeah. Because you have the tag team titles, the women's tag team titles that can go anywhere, that would bridge the gap between Tessa being in NXT and Charlotte being wherever Charlotte wants to be. And Bayley has the women's belt on for SmackDown.
Yeah.
So your 4 horsemen would have all the championship,
all the belts, yeah.
all the gold, all the gold, and any 4 horsemen.
I mean, like Charlotte wins the Raw, yeah.
What?
Charlotte would have to win the Raw, that's right.
Basically, they would all help her win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they run roughshod, and then that would set up Ronda coming back with Shayna Baszler, Jessamine Duke,
and Marina Shafir.
Shafir?
Yeah.
That person.
Roddy's wife.
There you go. And they whooped their ass.
Roddy, who just lost, actually.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he got beat.
By a scary man, Dexter Loomis. I wonder if they gave him that name because of Friday. Not Friday, Halloween. Because you know the doctor is Loomis.
That's probably what it is.
Maybe. Dexter Loomis.
So, 2 possible places that Tessa Blanchard could end up are AEW and NXT, and they have 2 major programs for the next 2 weeks.
Fyter Fest in the Great American Bash.
Yes, the once WCW property.
Yeah, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
What do you think about Fyter Fest versus the American Bash?
What's funny about Great American Bash, it feels like it was just a thing created like 2 weeks ago.
It was.
Yeah, because Fyter Fest, they announced that they're going to have a 2-week set of tapings that's going to be dedicated to Fyter Fest.
And let's be honest, Fyter Fest was going to happen
regardless
of Corona. Right. It's it's
a yearly event
that they have all the time.
Right.
Well, I don't want to say all the time because they just newly created.
Right.
But it's one of their pay-per-view events.
Right.
And Jesse told me it's connected to what
CEO Gaming Convention, which obviously is not going to happen this year. Yeah, and it's probably in jeopardy not happening this year.
That thing that Austin Aries and dumbass Low-Key doesn't, I guess, think's happening. Yeah. But whatever. Yeah. People are stupid.
Yeah.
But that was going to happen regardless. Yeah. You know what wasn't going to happen regardless? Great American Bash.
Right. But to their credit, they've drummed up a lot of interest for their matches. They have pretty good matches. We currently are in the middle of watching both sets of shows.
We're watching the Adam Cole promo.
Now they had a Oni Lorcan versus Timothy Thatcher match, which was incredible and hard hitting and a grappling match and everything you thought it would be. I believe next week they're gonna have the winner take all match for both championships, the NXT Championship and the North American Championship.
Which I feel like is going to be a screwball finish because we're not giving one person both belts.
I don't foresee. It's weird. Usually you get excited for title unifications or like winner take all matches. This one I'm not, because I like that there's 2 solid storylines all the time. One for the major championship and one for the North American. And now that you'll have them both on one person potentially, it's just one big one, or you might have like a confused, mix.
I really hate when a belt is newly created and then we have a uniform.
Yeah.
And it's like, dog, we just made this belt. Can we let it?
It doesn't have a long it doesn't have a long lineage.
It doesn't. So it's like, why? Come on. I don't really like those unifications that come out of nowhere. I understood it when it was the Intercontinental Championship with a friggin' 60-year history and the WWE Championship with a 100-year history. This is the first time these championships were gonna meet, and it's gonna be, oh my God, it's gonna be Kane. Right. It's gonna be an amazing thing, right?
Right.
I hate when it's like, I just made this belt. Like, imagine somebody was like, we're going to unify the 24/7 belt.
Yeah, I mean,
with the World Championship. We'd be like, I don't give a
I can do without the 24/7 belt. I just don't.
I haven't even seen it on TV.
I don't know who's champion. I know R-Truth is usually champion almost all the time. I think that's a gimmick. He'll lose it for like a week or 2, and then he'll get it right back. He's like the 36th time champion or something like that.
Yeah, watch out, Rick.
Right. Well, now watch out. He's way
He's. I think if we were really gonna equate it, like 5 reigns with the 24/7 championship, or even 10 reigns, is the equivalent of 1 world heavyweight reign. Right. Would that?
Not even. It's like 100.
Probably. So he's really like a 7-time world champion right now.
I mean, I believe he's the former NWA champion.
I'm looking at Finn Balor right now. As Finn Balor gets older and his face gets more aged,
grizzled, yeah.
He still looks great.
Yeah.
He looks more deadly now.
Yeah.
Because he had a baby face when he first came.
Right.
But now he's getting a little bit more veteran.
I mean, he also has more facial hair than he's ever had. He's like a big beard now.
Yeah, he just looks...
It's like an Irish...
He has abs on abs.
Yeah, it's not fair.
No, it's not. Because I want to know his gym regimen so I can set fire to it. Because I'm never going to be able to...
Yeah, so we had a lot of good matches lined up for this weekend. Next week, we had a elimination match for the women's NXT Championship #1 contenders.
I didn't care.
Tegan Knox ended up taking that one.
I don't care.
Right.
I'm excited for Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho Le Champion.
Yes.
I can't wait for that match. I love what they're doing. Everything they're doing with Orange Cassidy is amazing.
Yeah, the only thing I wish, which is really too bad, is there's no crowds and a lot of these matches, especially for AEW, these matches would be incredible in front of a crowd.
Week?
Yeah, next week they're gonna have Young Bucks and FTR versus Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers.
That's going to be an incredible match.
Oh, okay. So it looks like they've moved the Jon Moxley and Brian Cage match to 2 weeks from now instead of, which is smart because Jon Moxley has been exposed due to his wife to COVID-19. So it looks like he needs to be quarantined for at least 2 weeks. So to get around that, instead of having their championship match next week, we just have it in 2 weeks. I didn't know Fight for the Fallen was in
so
2
close.
weeks. Yeah, so close. I guess it just...
Hold on, wasn't it supposed to be at Fight for the Fallen?
No, I believe it was supposed to be at Fighter
Fest?
Fest. Yeah.
Oh, who's this white woman? She looks
Who you, JR?
Who's this white woman right here? We're watching the imposing Brian Cage walk to the ring right now with Taz, who's been doing some amazing
Promo
microphone work.
Yeah.
And he's probably talking about how Jon Moxley probably contracted COVID on purpose.
Two guys in gray
to
suits.
run away from Brian Cage, if he's saying that, awesome. And my favorite Spanish man of all time is on the other screen, Escobar, with Joaquin
Santos
Phoenix
Escobar.
and that other dude.
Raul Mendoza.
That other dude.
Okay.
But no, to summarize this all together, because we're getting off topic, because we're just wrestling fans and we love watching wrestling. But
so in 2 weeks we're probably gonna have a full in-depth review of both cards.
As we prepare for Fight for the Fallen.
Right. Fight for the Fallen will be in 2 weeks. And
is it a paper or is it?
No, I don't know. We'll find out because I'm just learning about Fight for the Fallen.
He saw the promo material. So, that's how promos are supposed to work.
Yeah.
They come on and then we find out things. I found that out once.
Yeah, so
we're gonna
get more in depth. I believe both cards are pretty much evenly matched. I also feel the same way about the unification match next week. I'm not a big fan of it. I wish what it reeks of is we needed a big match to compete with AEW. So they just hot-shotted like Keith Lee instead of taking the belt off of him. They just hot-shotted like him challenging for the belt. Which if they do that, like if they have Keith Lee win and then say, he has to drop the North American belt and then there's to be a tournament for that belt, I'm fine with that. But if they're like, he's a double champion, it doesn't do it.
I mean, Keith Lee, if you're gonna pick a winner for that match, I feel it has to be Keith.
It has to be Keith.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because who else is up in the pipeline past him? Plus, he's definitely going to the main roster.
Velveteen Dream is going through shit.
Velveteen Dream is actually in jeopardy of losing his.
And he was in a car accident.
Yo,
it's
been a long 2 weeks.
His life is rough right now.
It's been a long 2 weeks.
His life is rough.
Well, if you count also In Your House, where he lost after a long program with Adam Cole. He lost
and
that.
the match was pooper.
Yeah, the match wasn't that great either.
No, it wasn't.
Which is too bad because they're two dynamic, great characters individually.
I wonder, truly, if all the stuff that's been going on with Velveteen Dream is weighing on his head.
Maybe.
And maybe that's what... Because remember, he's still a young guy.
He is. He's a very young guy.
A lot of things could affect his mental state. Like, he could probably have been like, yo, I'm fitting to get fired because people think I'm out here raping.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
No, he's not.
I don't really know. When it comes to allegations, people, I may make jokes about it because I'm not making jokes about the actions. It's despicable actions. I like to laugh at the people who do these actions because they're pieces of shit, and we should laugh at them. But when an allegation comes on, I take it very seriously. Some of the people who I've been joking on, it's because it seems like there's overwhelming evidence that you may, in fact, be a raper.
Right.
Velveteen Dream, though, I've looked at the evidence and I go, I don't know yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? I really don't know yet. So I kind of feel bad for him where he's at right now. But if it does come out that he's been acting wild, I'm not going to be a fan of his.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't have that behavior. But as it stands right now, I feel bad for the guy having a car accident, your job dangled in front of you, you not performing at the highest level. That has to suck.
Yeah, having a disappointing showing at the last takeover.
Look, Drake Maverick getting his beat by these Spanish guys again.
You would think you would learn from...
Like, stop trying to fight.
3-on-1.
Like,
and it's never like you're the biggest... Like, if it was Luchasaurus versus them, like, all right, he's twice the size of pretty much all of them.
and it's like, remember when Stone Cold used to run out?
Yeah.
And it'd be like 20 dudes in the ring? At least he went with a chair. Like, he was like, this is still stupid, but I got a chair.
And his move was so fast.
Yeah. He could stun like 3 people before
they
even knew.
Right.
Oh, he has Fandango.
Yeah, and he has Breezango.
Oh, so we looked away, and now we're looking back. So apparently he has Breezango. So it's about to be Breezango and Drake Maverick versus Escobar.
So
obviously... Why don't they just call him the Medellin?
So obviously...
That should be their faction name. The Medellin. If we're going to be racist, let's be racist all the way.
So a lot of this talk of the Great American Bash and Fyter Fest has feeling nostalgic. So that brings us to this week's matches to watch. Which is yours this week?
My match of the week that I would like you guys to see. I'm staying on this train of nostalgic matches. I'm gonna keep going until I run out of nostalgic matches. I was so close and tempted to tell y'all to go watch Alex Wright versus Mongo McMichael.
Oh my god.
Cause that's the worst piece of shit I've ever seen in my life.
The rope running by Steve Mongo McMichael is impressive. In the worst of ways.
Yes. You know how people are inspired by Hulk Hogan or by like Shawn Michaels to be wrestlers? People are also inspired to be wrestlers by Mongo McMichael. But it's more of the, if this guy can do it, we all can. But I decided we're very classy. We have an elegant podcast where we talk about amazing things and we bring a high standard to the viewing of wrestling. So I wanted to hit y'all with a classic that y'all can be proud of. So it's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kane for the WWF Championship. This is before with WWE. WWF Championship on Raw, not the night before.
No,
so
it was June 29th, 1998.
Yes, and you gotta remember, so to set the table for this match is they had I think it was a first blood match.
Yeah, which
was it a first blood?
It was supposed to be a first blood match between the night before between Kane and Stone Cold. I believe the Undertaker came in, hit Stone Cold with a chair, caused him to bleed, and the referee obviously saw Stone Cold bleeding. He lost in the first. I don't know. I didn't understand it myself. I guess it was supposed to be a no-win situation for Stone Cold to put him in a.
Because he already had a cut on his head going into the match.
And Kane has a mask on. So even if he got cut, he can hide it a lot better. And it's much harder for him to get cut.
This is where I used to always find wrestling. This is the moments where I realized wrestling was It's matches like this, first blood. If I know it's a first blood match, I'm just going to stab you.
Yeah, I'm coming on with razors.
Yeah, mad razor blades. Yeah. And I'm just going to...
I'm going to slap you one time on your chest.
Yeah. going.
Yeah.
He'd be like, well, I guess I'm... And I'm walking home.
Why
like,
wouldn't you come down with like a sword?
Exactly. It's the first blood match. Yeah. Like, and I know people probably are using their brain. Well, Isaiah, a foreign object is illegal. And I'm like, yeah. You know what else is illegal? Beating somebody so badly that they bleed. Right. So it's like, if the match says that I can do
Not
this...
even in... Like UFC, that's a stipulation. Yeah, it's like, all right, you just beat somebody until you break the nose. So it's like, it's weird.
Yeah, no. So if I'm supposed to make you bleed, I'm gonna make you bleed. So, but it's not the first blood match. It's basically Kane won the championship. Mm-hmm. He goes into Raw, he gets awarded the championship. Stone Cold walks down to the ring in only Stone Cold fashion. Mm-hmm. Demands a rematch, basically calls him a pussy, and says, "You." I saw the whole promo today, and it was awesome. He basically was like, "Here you are talking about how you want to stand on your own 2 feet. You don't want to be in the shadow of the Undertaker, but you basically won the championship because of the Undertaker. So I'm basically looking at somebody who's a bitch, right?" And those his words. That's exactly what he said. And then he challenged him to a match. And Kane in Kane fashion did not talk. He just nodded his head like, we're going to get it on. Vince was livid. And I'll leave y'all there. You can see where the match goes.
You can watch it for yourself. It's really... I caught myself watching it earlier, being kind of like entranced by it. So it was really good.
Because it's like, they really lay it in.
Yeah.
There's a point where Stone Cold gives Kane a clothesline. It looks like he was...
He dragged him down to the floor.
Yeah, because he was like... It was like he came and he hit Kane. And Kane was like, don't bring that weak shit. And Stone Cold was like, okay. And dragged him to the ground with the clothesline. It was awesome.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my match of the week this week is actually from 2007. April 23rd, 2007. It was a Raw in London. Now, my match is Shawn Michaels versus John Cena. Ended up being about an hour-long match. What's funny is, before that match started, they actually promoted an Edge versus Randy Orton match that same night. The match was never going to happen, basically.
Why? What happened? I'm intrigued.
They always intended for the match for Shawn Michaels and John Cena to go an hour. But it was like a surprise hour match. Everybody thought it was going to be like, at least a 12, 15-minute match. And then as you watch the beginning of the match, you can see them often. What's a good tell for long matches is how they start out. Like if they start out kind of slow and they're more like headlocks and chin locks and stuff like that, you kind of could figure out, all right, they're going to go for a good amount of time. And then when you're watching this match, they start out on the mat, starting to pace themselves, and then they start speeding up, and a lot of great false finishes, a lot of great super kicks and FUs at the time. There wasn't the attitude adjustment, the PG era.
I hated when changed. It's the AA!
Right.
No, I like it when it was the FU.
Right, it was FU.
And then the STFU.
Which was hilarious because it was a play on F5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The old John Cena character got pacified.
Yeah.
I hate it.
When he had the rap gimmick, he would come out, do a whole freestyle about his opponent, and the opponent would come out. And then they took all the hip-hop stuff away from him, and the chain and the jerseys, and they put him in his own like t-shirts, and it ended up not being as cool. But yeah, it's a phenomenal match. It's one of John Cena's best matches of all time. It's one of Shawn Michaels' best matches of all time. I'm not gonna...
John Cena.
I can now. Yeah, have you seen his hair? His hair looks awful. It's so weird. He has a full head of hair that looks
trash.
Awful. Yeah. He should just he's one of the people that's just better off with short haircuts. It's been a fun week this week. We're gonna have more discussion about Fyter Fest and Great American Bash as the week continues. Thank you.
Probably talk about other shit that's not related to wrestling when we want to, because it, right?
Right. Yeah. I gotta censor myself. I gotta censor myself now.
Well, yeah, I got her to do it. I got her to curse, guys. Well, on that note, let's end the show. Just as tight at himself.
Thank you.
Always bad at himself.
Thank you for listening. Please leave us review on iTunes. Please rate us what you think you should rate us, which is
this episode's getting 5 stars.
5 stars.
This is a 5-star episode. This was fun. I like this.
What I need you to
do
is rate this 5 stars and then create another Apple account
And rate those too.
Rate us 5 stars.
Oh, so we're like Billboard now.
That'd be great.
We're gonna have a farm system for bundles.
And we may or may not cash app you. We probably won't. But please do.
I don't even have money.
Yeah, that's true. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. We'll talk next week.